The Cheap Seats live Saturday morning sports show on WLCN 96.3 and online at WLCNonline.com is brought to you by Jake's Furnishing. Make it your own. At Jake's, we strive to give you hometown personal service at very competitive prices. Located at 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Or shop online at jakesfurnishings.com. Furnish your home for less at Jake's. The Grimaldi Law Office, Logan County's only law firm dedicated exclusively to the practice of criminal law. Phone 217-651-8089. Eaton Corporation, America's choice for top quality, high-performance electrical equipment. To apply, go online to jobs.eaton.com. Chicago Street Rental and Repair at 1909 North Kickapoo Street in Lincoln, providing quality industrial equipment and rental services that local home and business owners rely on. Family owned and operated since 2005. Shop online at Chicago Street Rental and Repair, LLC.com. Community Action Partnership of Central Illinois. We're here to help, serving low-income and seniors in 6 Central Illinois counties. In Lincoln, call 217-732-2159. Joe Ryan, Country Financial. For all your insurance and financial needs, see Joe Ryan at 509 Pulaski Street in downtown Lincoln or call 217-735-4385. Lincoln Printers in downtown Lincoln for all your printing needs, including vinyl graphics and banners. Phone 217-732-3121. Lincoln Printers since 1970. And by the Carpet House, family owned and operated since 1976. For all your flooring needs, stop by the Carpet House, 1320 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Shop online at thecarpethouselincolnil.com or phone 217-735-2531. The Carpet House, your personal guide to a beautiful home.
Good morning, sports fans. Welcome to the Cheap Seats on WLCN 96.3 FM. We are broadcasting live on YouTube, and we are broadcasting live from the Hampton Inn here out on the west side.
West side?
No Mixler today. Oh, there is Mixler.
There is Mixler.
You got it figured out.
Well, not here, but we're working.
Oh, okay. Never mind. There is Mixler.
Well, there is if there's is, but if there's not, then we won't worry about.
Yeah. Well, we're in the Hampton Inn, and Jim always has
Waffles.
Connectivity issues here.
And waffles.
And waffles. So, yeah, we are at the Hampton Inn. We got Mike Cagley going to call in here after our first break.
Oh, nice.
So we'll get
talk some Illini action.
Talk some Illini and
sports in general. He's
oh yeah, we'll talk some Bears.
Yeah.
Bears on today against Cincinnati.
You've been watching that show with the
Hard Knocks. Yeah. 2 episodes so far. Pretty good. Yeah,
pretty excited. Get you a little more excited.
I'm excited. I just can't sit still.
There's a lot of people that are.
Yeah.
And the preseason games probably helping you out a little bit, getting you a little more excited, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is preseason, but you're seeing some things.
Not really, but kinda.
Yeah. I'd like to see things.
You'd like to see a lot of things.
But I'm always excited though, football season, and after about week 6, not so much.
This might be a different year this year
because the Bears typically stink, and so do my fantasy football team.
Yeah.
So, it's,
speaking of fantasy football.
Yes. Well,
don't even say it.
Joe's not here today.
There's where it all falls apart, folks.
Yeah. I mean, you got to show up. He's wanting to do a fantasy football league sponsored by Copper and Oak and WLCN, but I don't know if
Sweet. Jake's first is not involved.
Oh, Jake's? You want in?
Oh, I figured I didn't have a choice, but now that I know I do, I'm out.
Nope, you're in. I was just trying to give you a break.
What did I do last time? A TV and a recliner?
I don't know. Your boy, I think, the inaugural fantasy football league, I think your Jim's boy won some stuff. I know there was definitely a TV involved. There might have been a recliner involved as well.
I felt like there was something.
Huh?
There will now. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, this is a long, tenuous negotiation. I mean, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
It's post-COVID.
Yeah.
A lot of things there.
Yeah.
But, we'll work some prizes out. I'm sure we can.
Well, I tell you what, if we're going to do it, we got to get on it.
We got to get on it, Scotty.
Yeah, so
For all you first-time, long-time fantasy players, we're gonna bring it together.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to hear from Joe on all the details.
Where is Joe? I heard he was.
I heard he went. I heard he was hiking Mount Everest.
Yes.
And
being that it is the summer months and it's only cold at the top 2/3, he was doing it polar bear style in shorts and tank top.
Yeah.
His is a crop top, so.
Yeah, with a knot in it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know where Joe's at. Another no-call, no-show.
Yeah.
That's 2 within a year. That's termination.
I think he'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Okay, let me rephrase that.
That's all we have to do? Wait a minute.
That's promotion.
Yeah, that's more like it. Now you've got to do the agenda.
Yeah. No agenda today, but like I said, got Mike Cagley with the Illini guys.
Well, we had the
Sports Spectacular. He's going to call in. We're going to talk Illini.
Railers opened last night.
Meet the
Railers.
Meet the Railers.
Yep.
So they'll be playing next Friday. Boy, summer flew by, didn't it?
It flew by. Well, next Friday is a scrimmage.
Okay, just a scrimmage.
Yeah,
okay.
next Friday is a scrimmage. I think Pleasant Plains.
Okay.
Yeah, at Pleasant Plains, which will be interesting. I'm wondering. With basically all the schools having the week off, and a lot of them doing scrimmages, I wonder how many of them are going to have scouts at those individual scrimmages.
Probably not.
Taking a look.
I mean, you're not going to see a lot.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if the coaches are going to take it, okay, this is a preseason game. We'll give you a couple snaps.
Yeah.
We're not really doing anything. I mean, you might
work on some special teams, stuff like that. I don't see it being a full-blown scrimmage, though. Do you?
I don't. I would be, and Silky's a pretty smart coach. I mean, he's been around for a while, so I would doubt he's going to be playing Tate and Frank, if any, very, very sparingly, because, I mean, those are two guys that, teams are going to have to plan for. I mean, Tate playing quarterback this year and Frank being the monster that he is.
Tate playing what?
Quarterback.
Quarterback?
Yeah. And linebacker.
Wow.
So I think he's really looking forward to that option.
Does Tate have an arm on him?
Yes, he has an arm. It's physically connected to his shoulder.
Does it work? Does it throw the football down the field?
I don't know if he's ever – listen, let me say this. If Tate Johnston is throwing the football, I don't know if that's the direction we want to go.
Well, I mean, you got to throw the football. You got to mix it up.
I will say, judging by the way he throws a baseball, he can throw a ball very well.
Yeah.
But he's an athlete.
Is he a senior this year?
He is a senior.
Oh, wow.
And he, running that option. In my mind, I can picture him. The first thing he do is chucks it to somebody else, and then becomes out of the backfield offensive lineman that's just going to run people over. So, I mean,
I hope he's. I hope
that's one way to get back at some of the plays throughout the years that he's been an offensive lineman, having to take those little chips and whatnot. So.
I mean, that's a tough gig,
Tough
quarterback
gig.
And linebacker. I hope he's physically ready.
He's something. He did play baseball last year. I think I wouldn't say he regrets that decision, but I think he kind of wished he would have been in the weight room earlier. But at the same time, he's a good-sized kid. I mean, he's thick body, tall, strong. I mean, so hopefully
you need you got 3rd and 1, Tate up the middle. Quarterback sneak,
all day long.
Power them legs, yeah.
Well, he got Bunner
That'd
still
be fun.
too. So,
yeah.
I mean, he that kid there. There's a few kids. I mean, I don't want to leave anybody out. I mean, I know I'll talk a lot about my nephew this year, and I apologize to all the fans, but there's a lot of kids on this team that have, you could physically see the difference from last year to this year, and it's substantial. So
and that's good, because let's face it, we lost a lot.
We lost a lot, and we've lost a lot of size.
Yeah, a lot of size, a lot of speed, but I'm pretty excited to see how they do this year. Coming off a playoff season, that's got to light a little fire under them. Wanting to get back there and prove some things, that it wasn't just a one hit wonder here. And and like you said, Silky's a great coach, and
he's been around a while. He knows his stuff, and he knows his kids.
Yeah, that's the main thing, knowing your kids, and
And you could tell that he really got them into the weight room, and they bought into that this year. Mm-hmm. That's something a few of us fans were talking about in the stands last night. Yeah. So, I mean, it was fun to get out there. I mean, Meet the Railers, there's nothing going on. Right.
It's just that it's a Friday night atmosphere.
That's exactly it. And you get the community right together, and mm-hmm. We all start seeing each other again, and it's kicking off the new school year, and there's a lot there. My daughter also on the dance team, that's kind of fun, and it's fun to see her out there doing her thing as well. So
absolutely,
it'll be a good year.
Now she's a freshman.
Is freshman, yeah.
Wow, Jake, you're getting old, bud.
Dude, I feel that.
Yeah.
It's yeah. The other day, was working on the deck and may have missed a few screws, so I'm just yanking the old boards out. And the next day, the back didn't like. Well, I shouldn't say the next day. That night, my back would not let me sleep.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
Had to take some medication to try to simmer that down, and then moving on.
Doing stuff like that, you use muscles you never used before, or for a while.
For a while, yeah. Being the old guy.
Yeah, we're remodeling Bryson's house right now, and it takes a little bit to get out of bed in the morning.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering. You told me about doing some remodeling with him. Do you? Are you of the mindset you don't want the kids to show you up? You want to show them how to work?
Well, that's not a problem.
Okay.
I mean, kids these days. But you got to give Bryson some credit. He's, it's his house. He's very particular about what we do and how he wants it done.
There you go.
So I just do what he says and, teach him a few things. He's been doing a lot of the work. So,
good.
That's how you learn.
That is how you learn, exactly.
I'm not the greatest remodeler. I can do some things, but it's a process.
I'm in the same boat with you.
It takes me a little bit to figure things out, in my head, write it down, and kind of visualize it. So I'm not very fast, but we're getting it done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the main thing, saving a little bit of money, being able to do stuff like that yourself, and getting him a good step forward in a new house.
Oh, yeah, and then whenever you're remodeling an older house, you run into some issues, but issues that
I can tell you about some issues.
Yeah, some unforeseen issues and cost, but it is what it is, and that when we're all done, I'm sure he's going to be pleased with it.
Yeah,
and so am I, because he'll be moving out.
I get that. I do get that.
You got one left, you got 4 more years to enjoy it, and then you'll be an empty nester.
Well, maybe. I mean, you never know how it all plays out, but at the same time, the oldest is packing up, and she's getting ready to head west.
Out back to Nebraska.
Heading back out to Nebraska this Thursday. So that'll be a fun trip. Run her out there and then run right back so I can get here to work at the store. So.
Yeah, take a few days off, Jake.
Yeah.
I've
got employees that have lives, too. We got to make sure we get everybody compensated.
Well, I think they like when the boss is gone.
You're probably right.
Or the owner. I don't know about the boss. We know who the boss is.
Yeah. Bosses. Yeah. I think I got 2 of them there.
Yeah, so good stuff. But, we've got the Balloons over 66 coming up. Is that what, 2 weeks, 1 week, next weekend? So I'm sure we'll probably be downtown for that, and that's always fun, exciting. Get out, like you said, get out in the community. See people, and it's fun. And
it is fun. Like Meet the Railers. It's funny how you don't really see as many people all year long as you do when you go to that, or if you go to Balloons over 66, all of a sudden somebody you haven't seen in maybe a year is there, and you're like, oh, how's it going? Tell me about everything going on. You start learning about their lives again. It's just it's a fun community thing, and very thankful for the Balloons Over 66, all the people that help organize that, because I know it's a big task. It's a very, very overwhelming task.
Yeah, let's hope the weather cooperates, because we always want to see. And I've seen some balloons up in Lincoln this past week or two, and it's always fun to look up and see those in the air and be like,
it's great unless you're my dogs.
They go nuts, huh?
They hate them.
Hate them.
He just hate them. Had a buddy flying over, taking a video of them, sent it to me. He's like, man, you can hear, you can almost hear everything from up there. It's amazing how it all rises.
Have you ever been up in one?
No.
I haven't either. Would you? I would love to. That'd be fun.
We'll just leave that open.
Why don't you buy one?
Yeah.
And we'll just take it up.
No.
No? I mean, you can write it off. We'll put Jake's Furnishings right on the side.
100% could write it off, I'm sure. Yeah. But the fear of landing is an issue.
We'll figure it out. We'll wing it.
I'll let you wing whatever you want, but leave me out of it.
I'm sure there's more to it than that.
There's probably a little bit. I mean, you might need a crew to go with you to help you break down.
A license to fly one and all that good stuff.
I don't know if there is. What do you think, Jimmy?
Pretty sure you have to have a pilot's license of some
sort.
Jim says
yeah.
Yeah, Jim knows all. Jim's got his Bears gear on today. He's going to be hunkered down at noon.
Is it noon?
I think it's at noon. Be tuning into the Bears. Watched a little bit last week about the first quarter or so. Caleb Williams, for the small time he was in there, I liked what I saw.
He's smaller than I thought, though. He really, they listed him as 6'1", and you don't realize how small that is until he's standing in the huddle.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I don't think. He's bigger than Rex Grossman, so we got that going.
And Kyler Murray. with Joe's guy.
Yeah.
Doug Flutie.
No, way bigger than Doug Flutie. Doug Flutie was awfully good, though.
Yeah.
So, I guess Grossman took us to Super Bowl.
He took us there.
Yeah.
I
feel like if it wasn't raining that day, we probably would have won that.
You think?
I
thought we were winning at the opening kickoff.
Well, that's
Devin Hester returns it.
I was going to say 8 seconds in, we're up.
Here we go.
Yeah, with that defense, didn't think we'd give it away.
Give it away now. We did. So, the Bears on today. Still preseason football. Regular season 2-3 weeks away. Bears on Hard Knocks. Been watching a little bit. Jim, have you been watching Hard Knocks? What? You don't? Do you have HBO?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not watching Hard Knocks? No interest?
No.
Oh well.
There you go.
He's not you're a Bears fan, right?
Watch the game.
You're a Bears fan, right? Yeah. It's neat. The backstories and behind the scenes kind of stuff. You should tune in, Jim. We have something to talk about. So. Speaking of I
don't have HBO, so I can't tune in.
Oh, well, come on over.
I'll just come over.
We'll have a viewing party.
Yep.
Well, let's take a commercial break, and we'll get Mike Cagley on the phone. We'll talk to him about Illini sports, because I tell you, I don't even know who's on the team. It changes every year. So
pretty big turnover.
A whole different roster this year. We got a couple of returners, but a whole different feel to it. So we'll get his knowledge, and obviously Illini football is going to be kicking off next week, I think. I
think so, yeah.
Yeah. So football is here, and I like it. Jim likes it a lot. All right, let's take a commercial break, and we'll be back after these messages on WLCN 96.3 FM.
Welcome to Lifestyles of the Famous and Rich. I'm Robin Peach. We're exploring high-class homes to see what preposterous price people pay for their fancy furniture.
Robin?
Yes.
Folks don't have to spend a lot of money for a great-looking home.
Oh?
No, Jake's Furnishings in Lincoln offers furniture for every budget, from companies like Flex Steel, England, and Ashley, along with mattresses from Spring Air, featuring Spring Air's copper collection with patented copper fabric and copper-infused memory foams for a healthier sleep experience. With delivery available, Jake's helps you live like a king without making a royal dent in your bank account.
That sounds delightful.
See for yourself at jakesfurnishings.com or stop by Jake's at 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. For updates about promotions and new arrivals, be sure to like Jake's Furnishings on Facebook.
So does that mean I can stop yelling with this accent now?
I suppose so.
Thank goodness, that was exhausting.
And annoying.
What?
I said folks will be enjoying their purchases from Jake's Furnishings, 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Jake's Furnishings, make it your own.
This is attorney Jim Grimaldi. Have you been arrested for DUI? A DUI is a serious offense with potentially severe consequences, which may include jail time, high fines, lengthy periods of probation, even suspension or revocation of your driver's license. The laws regarding DUI are very complex and continually changing every day. You need an attorney with knowledge and experience in handling DUI cases, whether or not this is your first offense. I have vast experience in the area of DUI law. As a former chief DUI prosecutor for Sangamon County, I prosecuted thousands of DUIs and was exposed to every possible defense strategy. Call me and let me put my experience to work for you.
Call Grimaldi Law Office now at 217-651-8089. That's 217-651-8089, or visit GrimaldiLawOffice.com.
Calling all small businesses. Capsule Small Business Coalition provides a like-minded community that offers networking, resources, advertising opportunities, and support for business owners. Small business owners that stick together, thrive together. Join us today by calling 217-732-2159 or visit us at capsule.info. Funding is provided by the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity by way of the Community Services Block Grant.
Joe Ryan here with Country Financial. Do you think life insurance is a waste of money? Do you think your money is more wisely invested in a cell phone bill or having 600 channels on a television? How would you like to have a life insurance policy that returns all of your premium tax-free at the end of the policy term? Do you have that type of plan going on with your cellular or cable company now? You need life insurance. Let's talk. 735-4385.
Sometimes names of things can be deceiving. A gravy train isn't really a train full of gravy, and buffalo wings, they aren't really made from buffalo. Similarly, the Carpet House in Lincoln isn't a house made of carpeting. And if you think the Carpet House only sells carpeting, that's not accurate either. Sure, since 1976, the Carpet House has been Lincoln and Logan County's premier seller of plush carpeting and easy-to-maintain laminate flooring. But the Carpet House offers so much more, including vinyl sheet flooring from Mannington, luxury vinyl tile from Everlife, and flooring from Shaw, Carndine, Karastan, and pet premier flooring from Mohawk. And the Carpet House is your source for ceramic, porcelain, stone, marble, and granite, all with professional installation. No, when you visit the Carpet House, you won't find a house made of carpet, but you will find helpful, friendly folks ready to assist you in making your house a home. Go online to thecarpethouselincolnil.com or stop by the showroom at 1320 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln and see why the Carpet House is your personal guide to a beautiful home.
Looking to start a new career in manufacturing? Join Eaton in Lincoln, Illinois today and discover career opportunities that power the world. Openings available for entry-level assemblers through experienced professionals. Apply today. Become part of a diverse and innovative workforce tackling the planet's biggest challenges. Earn competitive pay and benefits with tremendous career growth opportunities. Learn more and apply today at Eaton.com. Eaton, we make what matters work.
Don't buy it, rent it at Chicago Street Rentals and Repair in Lincoln. Family owned and operated since 2005, Chicago Street Rentals and Repair provides quality industrial equipment rental services that local home and business owners rely on. From forklifts to general contractor tools, including air compressors, floor scrubbers, sewer eels, excavators, propane heaters, lawn and garden equipment, power washers, even portable warehouses. Chicago Street Rentals and Repair also offers routine maintenance and repair service. So instead of paying a fortune for something you'll only use a couple of times, why not stop by Chicago Street Rentals and Repair at 1909 North Kickapoo Street in Lincoln. Open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Shop online at Chicago Street Rentals and Repair, LLC.com or call 217-732-2422.
this is Mike Kegley of the Illini Guys Sports Spectacular, and you're listening to Cheap Seats with Jake, Joe, Lloyd, Jim, and Shabadoo on 96.3 WLC.
Welcome back to the Cheap Seats on WLCN 96.3 FM, broadcasting live from the Hampton Inn. And we have a special guest joining us now. On the phone is Mike Kegley with the Illini Guys Sports Spectacular. Good morning, Mike.
How are you doing today, guys?
We're doing pretty good. And yourself?
Pretty good. I was listening to the balloons story, and I'll tell you, when I was a kid living in Mahomet, we had the Garcia's Pizza in a Pan balloon crash in our yard one day, so that was pretty exciting.
Well, it must have been a new guy that just went out and bought a balloon and thought he could fly it, right, Jake?
Well, that was back when the Garcias, they were the pizza place in Champaign. They expanded all over Central Illinois and then ran out of money. So maybe they shouldn't have bought the balloon and left it to the experts like you have flying there in Lincoln in the next week or so.
Yeah, bought the balloon and didn't have any money for the fuel. And
yeah, or any clue on how to fly it.
Yeah, right.
Maybe they need licensing. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some kind of pilot's license involved in that stuff. I wouldn't know. But, boy, we're going to talk some Illini sports and, looking over that roster, a whole different crew going to be out this year in basketball and football as well. And you can tell us a little bit about that more. Get it out there, Scott. Geez. The turnover rate in college basketball, with the transfer portal, NILs, it's crazy. And that's how they're building teams this year. I know we've talked about in the past, Mike, but you don't see those guys that stick around for 4 years, with the exception of hopefully Ty Rogers. He's back. Might see him all 4 years, but boy, they got to turn over that roster year in, year out.
Yeah, I think the basketball is going to be a little bit different, particularly when you have a coach move on, because they've got players. And, of course, you saw with Chester Frazier, you had players that didn't get as much time, and they followed him as well, which put some artificial turnover in there. Would have been great to see a few of those guys stick around. But I think when you have Orlando Antigua on the staff now, he has all these connections from when he was recruiting at Kentucky, and also very high level. So he's able to jump in and to kids and say, hey, you want to come play at Illinois? We just went to an Elite Eight. We just had a guy drafted in the first round, and if he hadn't had some BS legal charges, he probably would have been a top 10 pick. And then all those relationships become very valuable. On top of that, Tim Anderson's like a heat-seeking missile. If you tell him to get a player, he gets a player. And Jeff Alexander, you saw what he did, bringing in, Kylan Boswell, and then going over to Europe and helping land. So you've got three really good recruiters, there. And so if there's openings, you have to think about it from a player standpoint. Can I go play for a team that's going to probably win a Big Ten tournament title or a Big Ten regular season title? And I can make some NIL money, and I might get drafted in the NBA. I'm going to go see what Jeff Alexander's selling. And that's worked great for the Illini.
Yeah, and it's, every time I talk to Jeff, it seems like he's traveling somewhere overseas, Istanbul. He just got back from Finland a couple weeks ago. So they're really hitting that overseas market big, and there's a lot of talent over there.
There's a lot of talent over there, and they train a little different. It's very much when I lived in Atlanta and coached AA AAU basketball down there. There were a whole raft of trainers from Europe that were down there. And basically the European style is that we're not going to be the fastest, the best jumpers, et cetera, but we're going to cut our range of motion down, and we're going to every wasted movement out of it, so that if we do a spin dribble, it works, or if we cross over at the right time. And so you get players who spend more time doing practice and drills, as opposed to the U.S. where they just play a lot of games and less practice. And you're seeing, there's benefits from both sides of that, and you're seeing the rest of the world catch up. Certainly you look at Luka Doncic, he's not the fastest guy. He can't jump the highest, but the precision of his movements and the number of time that he's practiced these moves helps him compete in the NBA. And so now Illinois is looking to bring in that type of talent. And for the first time, I think, since probably the mid-'80s, Illinois can jump in and compete with anybody for a player. That doesn't mean they're going to all of a sudden get a bunch of top 10 guys. But if with the reputation that Illinois is carrying, if they call up a player even in the 11th hour, let's say like Will Riley, who came to play at who's going to be there this year, they get the attention because they know you've got a great coaching staff. You're going to play. You can go to the NBA. And Fletch and Adam Fletcher, the strength and conditioning coach, is amazing. And he's acknowledged as one of the, if he's not the best, he's one of the top 2 or 3 in the country. And so when you put all those factors together, and Ubben, the beautiful facility that they have, this is a place that people want to play. And I think this team this year, now you've talked to Jeff, he may disagree with me, but I think it possibly has a lower floor than last year's team because you do have 10 new players. But I think it also has a higher ceiling because even though it doesn't have the superstar right now in Terrence Shannon Jr., you've got 2 guys in Kasparis Jakusiones and Will Riley, who have been looked at by some services as being potential first-round picks next year if they have good seasons. So what Illinois fans should hope for is that Illinois has a really good season. They get 1 or 2 one-and-dones and a national title, and then Illinois has all the boxes to move up to that next level and be one of those teams that's at the very top of college basketball.
Yeah, and with those players coming in, they're young, so there's going to be you can anticipate some struggles early on, just because gelling as a team is tough to do, and figuring out your role. And when you got 2 superstars on, those 2 coming in and being freshmen, that's going to be a tough thing to kind of facilitate. And you're going to have your leaders step up, and Rogers, well, he's really the only one back with any experience for the Fighting Illini. But then you bring in guys from other programs that are got some time under their belt. The kid from Evansville, I see him stepping in and doing some things, and it's just for the coaching aspect of it, that's got to be tough on them, just to figure out what you have and how you're going to utilize those players in minutes.
Yeah, I think this coaching staff gets energized by that. There's these guys, they're just not much, Jeff, and these guys, there's just not much that really throws these guys, So I think they look at it as, we got a lot of really good pieces, and now we're going to go out there and put them on the court the way we want to do it. I mean, Rickhouse is a great example. At 6'9", he has the ball handling ability that he can play the booty ball, the way Domas did.
Yep.
But he's 3 inches taller. And so you've got that opportunity with him. And the other guy that I keep hearing people say, very quiet whispers, is don't sleep on Trey White. At 6'7", he was at USC. He went to Louisville, who had some, Kenny Payne had some great salespeople who weren't great coaches. and had that train wreck season there, but he's a guy who's really good. I mean, they can throw some big lineups at people and have big guys who can shoot and are athletic at every one. And look, I watched Ty Rodgers multiple times in AAU ball. He can shoot from outside. He just lost his confidence. If he gets his confidence back, I'm not saying he's not going to be Steph Curry, but if he gets his confidence back, then all of a sudden guys just have to go out and guard him, and then he can use then the drive that he's so good at and putting the ball on the deck. He can use that a little more often. I think he's probably a 15-footer. Reliable 15-foot jump shot away from taking a big step. This team has got a lot of talent, and I think they're going to be able to play a good brand of basketball that people will enjoy. But let's look at Illinois as being what Michigan State used to be. They are playing a ball buster schedule early in the season, but by the time January gets here, that team may have 3-4 losses, but they will have played against some fantastic opponents, and then they will be ready for the Big Ten. And I'm just thinking, as this team develops over the course of the season, you're not going to want to play Illinois in March.
That sounds good to me. It's obviously you want your team to be successful, and we've been pretty lucky the past several years to, have good basketball teams at Illinois, and shouldn't be anything different this year, right, Jake?
Well, yeah. I mean, Big Ten's going to be tough this year. I mean, there's a lot of good teams and a little more diversity through the teams. Who's the cream of the crop, though? I mean, before the preseason starts in Big Ten, is it Indiana?
Indiana's got it. I'm going to tell you, Indiana, until they shoot from outside very well, I'm not going to be a big believer, because you can't just go inside and win in modern day basketball. Even Purdue last year, they've got the little guards who can just kill you from outside, when they get the ball back from Edey.
I say, well, the big guy down low had a lot to do with that.
Yes, he did. But they had the inside out. They could do both. And Indiana, the last few years, with Trace Jackson Davis, he could do almost anything on the inside, but there was nobody to help him. And if they can shoot this year, that'll be a really good team. But if they end up being the gang that can't shoot straight, they'll be very similar to what they've been the last few years, and that'll probably be the end of Woodson's tenure there. I had to be careful, because when I had Eddie Johnson on Io the Illini, they're best friends, so I had to be a little nicer about Indiana. But they've got potential, but they have to shoot. I think Purdue is going to be good this year. I think they're going to obviously drop off because they're not going to be elite.
Right.
But they did get a 7'2" kid who I think might be up to 7'3" now. He's thin, but is very good at passing, got great eye. I don't know that he's going to be a difference maker this year, but of course they got another 7-footer who will step in and try to replace Edey. But I think they'll still be one of the top teams. And I think that the potential surprise team could be a good offseason at Ohio State. They've strengthened their team. And then Rutgers has 2 of the top 5 recruits in the class. And you don't want to win with youth, but there's some talent there. I think they're probably a year away. But if they're truly one-and-done players, and you have 2 one-and-dones on that team, you catch them on the wrong night, and they could get really hot as well. And I think Illinois will be in that mix. And I know Michigan's trying as well. So I think it's going to be an exciting year. And I don't think there's going to be a super team like what you've seen with Purdue. Mm-hmm. So that means it's going to be wide open. As a football and basketball fan, Big Ten is going to be spectacular this year.
Yeah, it's going to be nice watching the Illinois-Purdue game where Edey's not just bowling his way through and
I was all for Edey graduating.
Oh yeah, I was all for it. the year before, and I thought he might go, but
I bumped into him physically. It was funny the night that Myers Leonard came back a couple of years ago. I met Myers Leonard, and then before the game, I bumped into Kofi, and Myers Leonard is like a superhero. I mean, he is a big dude. That doesn't have an ounce of fat on him, and then I bump into Kofi, who makes Myers look small, and then I physically bump into Zach Edey, and I'm 6'1" and 240, and I bump into him, and I felt like a spitwad getting shot at Godzilla. And he's the biggest human I've ever seen. Yeah. I mean, he can almost enmask Kofi, So it's nice to see him gone, but I do think, Illinois, I don't know if I pick them to win the Big Ten because they do have to gel, like you mentioned. But I think they're going to be at the top, and if they do win it, I don't pick them any lower than third. So they're going to be there the whole year, and I think you're going to see Brad Underwood's junior college background, where he had years where he had to replace, 11 or even 12 players. That background is going to come in very handy this year.
Well, let's transfer over to a little bit of football. It's coming here, next week? Opening season?
They start on Thursday, the 29th.
Okay.
And they play Eastern Illinois.
Yeah.
And a little disappointing for me. I know it's great that Illinois gets the TV time on Thursday night. But I do feel for the Champaign-Urbana businesses that would prefer to have a 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday, so people can tailgate and stay all night and go out to eat afterwards and all that. But this would be a great opener. Of course, Eastern Illinois was decent last year, and they come in with a experienced quarterback, and they want to pull the upset. So it should be. I don't want it to be an exciting game, but it may not be the walkover that everybody's hoping for.
That's what I'm seeing as well. That Eastern could come in and at least give them a game. But I'm with you. Hopefully it's a walkthrough, but tell us a little bit about what we can expect from Illini football. Missing some guys that moved on. What's our quarterback situation and running back? And you lose Williams, who was a staple on that wide receiving spot. You lose him. Who's going to step up and fill the shoes?
Well, I actually think this year's offensive line will be the best that Brett Bielema's had here at Illinois, and he's had some nice offensive lines. They're actually deep. They're actually be able to withstand some of the injury bug, I think, a little better than in the past. And Luke Altmaier has worked a ton in the off season, not just on the physical stuff, but on the mental things, to try to not get down when things go bad. And so I think Altmaier is the key to the season, because he just has to cut down a little bit on the turnovers and just increase his accuracy slightly, to the receivers getting open, because he is going to have the backfield is really good with Josh McCray is healthy. He never had an injury until he got to Illinois, and he's been injured, quite a bit here, but he looks, at 6'1" and 238 pounds. He looks like an NFL player right now. And then you go to Caden Fagan at 6'3", 250 pounds. Jerome Bettis is what comes to mind, but he's faster.
So
may not be quite as heavy, but he's faster. And then you got Aiden Lowry, and then you've got, Khalil Valentine, Jordan Anderson. That's probably the best 5-person backfield that Illinois has had in my memory. They may, we'll see how good the top end. I don't know if we have a Rashard Mendenhall back there, but there's a lot of physical talent, and the wide receiver position, even without Isaiah Williams, with Pat Bryant, and of course you got Franklin, from Ole Miss, but people remember him from his game of UT San Antonio killing Illinois a couple of years ago. They're going to be set. They've got the wide receiver. They lost Cole Rusk, who was a fantastic passing threat. But again, they've got a couple guys, Henry Boyer, Tanner Arkin, and you got Gouda back there. So they've got the offense, I think, is actually going to be the strong part of the team, and they should be able to move the ball on the ground and in the air, which is a new thing for Illinois. Mm-hmm. I think the offense is going to be the defense. They are young. They've got a lot of talent in the defensive backfield, but not a lot of experience. But I think the year will be determined for the defense on two different things. One is they've got a young defensive line, and they can't really afford a lot of injuries there. So Briggs Jr. from Florida State, they just can't get injured, which has been a challenge for him. Mm-hmm. And is Gabe Yakus and Seth Coleman at the outside linebackers. When they rush, they have to get double and or get pressure on the quarterback, because if fans who listening know, if you can't put pressure on the opposing quarterback in today's college football, they will dissect you.
Yeah.
And so that pass rush has to be there, because as good as the talent is in the defensive backfield, brought in Brooks from Texas, they've got some talent back there. Matt Bailey is returning, from injury last year. A lot of talent back there, but they cannot cover guys for 6 seconds. So you've got to put the pressure on, and that's going to be where everybody is looking. Can Illinois put pressure on the quarterback? And if you can't, then you've got to start dialing up blitzes that allow you to get pressure, because I just don't think you can hang back in a zone, and Illinois likes to play man to man. You certainly, if you're not getting pressure on the quarterback, you're in trouble. So Illini fans need to be looking, for that pass rush to show up to determine, the how good the team's going to do this season. And of course, you'll get that first big test on Saturday, September 7th, when number 22 Kansas rolls into town at 6:00. That should be a fantastic game. And if Illinois can find a way to, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but if they can go 3-0 over Eastern Kansas and Central Michigan, now you're looking at a season where you can probably go 6-6, and with a little bit of luck and lack of injuries, maybe even shoot for 7 or 8 wins.
Sounds good to me. How about you, Jake?
Well, Big Ten's tough, man. I mean, what do we got? 6 top 25 teams right now, and a couple of those I think are rated a little bit low. I mean, Big Ten's just going to be brutal this year for the Illini. So it sounds good. Yeah, I mean, you're right, or it could get worse.
Yeah. Well, that's the scary thing is, if the Kansas game, if they get beat badly in the Kansas game, you don't want to get knocked off the ball, so to speak, early in the season. So that game is going to be one that a lot of fans are looking at with some trepidation.
And we got some new teams coming in over this year, right, Mike, to the Big Ten?
Yeah.
Which doesn't help out any.
And Saturday, October 26th.
Number 20.
October 26th, it's Oregon.
Yeah.
And it's on the road. That should be fun.
That will be fun.
Yeah.
The Big Ten teams aren't used to seeing that crowd out there in Oregon, so it's a fun environment.
Well, and I do think the game of the year, I think, is that Michigan game on October 19th. It is exactly 100 years and 1 day after Illinois dedicated Memorial Stadium against Michigan, who was the defending national champion in 1924 as well as 2024. And that's the 100th anniversary of Red Grange scoring 4 touchdowns in the first quarter and scoring 6 touchdowns to defeat Michigan, and that was the kind of the maybe not the beginning, but the culmination of Red Grange's college legend, and people don't realize that without Red Grange, there would be no NFL today, because he went to the NFL and gave it legitimacy, and really was the man who in the 1920s, there were three great athletes in America: Jack Dempsey, the heavyweight champion, Babe Ruth, and Red Grange. And for the first half of the 1920s, Red Grange was probably the most famous of the three of them.
Yeah, for sure. Are they going to bust out the new uniforms for that game? Have you seen those?
Those are spectacular. They did they've got it. The jerseys look like those 1920s jerseys.
Yeah.
And then they had a special company, I think in the middle of Nebraska, who figured out how to make modern day helmets look like those padded helmets of those days. You can see those. I forwarded out the tweets. You can go to @Mike Kegley on Twitter, but the University of Illinois, or the football team, put those out. And I think for one game, I think those things are going to be spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe they're going to auction off the actual jerseys after the game for people for fundraising.
Yeah, I like that one of those.
That's cool.
Yeah, one of those helmets. Those helmets are
cool, man.
Man, those looking.
Now,
awesome.
is that your game for the year as well?
Go ahead.
I mean, what game do you like for this year with the Illini?
Well, to me, I like I said, I go up and down this schedule, and to me, the game of the year that I'm interested in, it just depends on how Illinois is playing at the time. But that 1-2 punch of playing Michigan at home one weekend and then going out to Oregon the next weekend, we will see just how resilient this team is, because that's to me, Ohio State and Georgia and Michigan is darn good. So that's going to be a heck of a 1-2 punch for the Illini to have to play back to back.
It's tough.
Well, and for me, game of the year is Friday, September 20th. The Illini go out to Nebraska.
Oh.
Go Big Red.
Yeah, Jake's a Nebraska guy just because his daughter goes there.
Geez,
His
we got one of those on the phone?
Yeah. Well, lucky for us, he didn't wear any Nebraska stuff today.
Oh,
he usually comes.
Football season starts next week, and then it's every day.
Rolls in here and it looks like Nebraska just puked on him. And it's,
GBR, baby.
Yeah. So
just buy him a bunch of Wisconsin stuff. He'll have some red and white on. He's confuse all of his friends.
Out there in Nebraska, we like our corn. We leave that cheese up north.
Well, I tell you, Nebraska's, of course, they've got their big game. They get to shut Dion up early in the season.
Yeah, so, a little hopefully a revenge tour of last year.
Yeah, well, you know what? Dion is the coach is not nearly as good as Dion the player.
True.
And I think Dion the coach is writing a lot of checks that the Colorado Buffalo players would prefer not to have to cash.
Yeah, I mean,
I tell you what, though, he is drawing money to that program like I don't know that any coach has ever. For any program. I mean, Prime Time, Coach Prime is bringing in the dollars from those donors. So that's a big deal for a school.
And that's great. I wonder, will he stay there beyond this year when Hunter and his son, go into the NFL? I wonder will he try to. I just can't see him being an NFL coach, but maybe he would do that. I don't know.
Maybe a DB coach or something like that. But
I don't think Coach Prime to go.
No chance.
He's going anywhere to be on the staff.
No chance Coach Prime is doing that. Now let's see, what was he on, ABC or CBS? And he's definitely not going back that direction. I would say so.
Well, he would be. I mean, I could see him going back into the announcing thing, because think about it. He would drive a big salary because people will turn it on, and then you don't have to be accountable for anything other than a bad prediction. And he's not going to do any worse than me. Last year, I predicted Northwestern had a ceiling of 1 win and a floor of 0, and they win 8 games and make me look like an idiot. So
I'm sure they want to come on the radio with you.
Well, Mike, before we let you go, how you feeling about the Bears this year?
Well, now this is where I'm going to get you. I'm a Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
But I actually think for the first time in a long time, I think there's a lot of reasons for optimism. The only caveat that I would have for the Bears, if I was the GM of the Bears about the next 3 years, I think my first round picks would exclusively be offensive linemen.
For sure.
To make sure that I can keep Caleb Williams upright. I was in Bloomington last weekend and had the opportunity to watch the Bears preseason game, and Caleb Williams gives you many reasons to be optimistic about this team. He kind of reminds me of Pat Mahomes light, and if he can go out there and perform at a level that it looks like his potential is, I think Bear fans are going to be happy, and it's going to be really weird to see an offense that can move the ball through the air in Soldier Field. Just bizarre. So
Completely agree with that statement.
You don't even watch NFL.
Well, that's one of the reasons I don't watch them is because the Bears struggled at every aspect of football for so many years.
Yeah.
So
hey, look, I'm a Cowboy fan. It hasn't been any better down in Dallas,
No.
so I don't have much. I don't have anything to retort with, 'cause
Yeah.
If you need an owner who is trying to be the latest version of Al Davis circling the drain for the Raiders, or Vince McMahon circling the drain when he was still involved in the WWE, or George Steinbrenner, well, hey, Jerry Jones is your guy. So
he's
it's like let's fire every good coach we get, and then let's hire every flunky who will let you do whatever you want to do.
Well, he's got to have his puppets. He's got to have control, and I think that's where a lot of the owners getting in some trouble there. Instead of just owning, they want to be
Nobody
involved.
complained back when he was putting rings on the desk.
But he put the rings on the desk with all of Jimmy Johnson. See, Jimmy Johnson, I'll give you my theory on this real quick. What you want to do is you want to get a guy out of college, and you want to keep him closely involved in your draft for about 3 years, because he's recruited all those kids when they were in high school. And Jimmy Johnson, his first 3 to 4 years at Dallas, literally couldn't miss in the draft. And then once he got past that era of all the guys, when he went to Miami and coached there, he was just like every other coach then. He wasn't that great in terms of getting draft picks. But I do think hiring a college coach, keeping him for 4 years, and then moving on to the next really good college coach gives you pretty good insight into that when it comes draft day. That's my theory.
It's a good theory, and it seems to kind of hold true a little bit. But yeah, well, Mike, we appreciate your time always. That's the most sports we've talked in since the last time we had you on.
Hey, you guys got the number, and then now I've got to go scramble, get ready for a show. You know how that goes.
Oh yeah. But next time you're in the area, look us up. We'll bring you back in with us.
Mike Scott.
Yeah. We'll get over there on a Saturday morning and get into the Hampton Inn, sneak in, get some food out of the buffet there.
Well, we got to get you some mellow cream. That's just.
Oh, trust me, I got mellow. The last time I was there, I went to Mellow Cream. I made a beeline for there right after. Their old-fashioned sour cream donuts are to die for.
I will say, Mike, you talked about scrambling to get ready for a show. That's something Scott has never done unless he had to go get a waffle.
Well, yeah, I scramble right here in the morning. Yeah, it's tradition.
Hey, a waffle. You can get a waffle down in about 3 bites, and then you're energized. For the show.
And ready to go.
Why would you not do that?
Yep, that's he wants an agenda. That's my agenda when we come here.
Sounds like my agenda.
Priorities. You got to get them in order. Well, Mike, once again, thanks for calling in, and man, Illinois football just a handful of days away, and then before you know it, we'll be on the court. So a lot
it's gonna be fun. Isn't it?
Yeah. Nope, lost him. Well, I think we lost you, Mike. But there you are.
All right.
Yeah, there you are.
Hey, have a good one.
You too, Mike. Thanks for calling in. All right, Mike Cagley, the Illini guys, Sports Spectacular.
If he would ever get all of his sports together, he would probably be pretty good at this gig.
Well, I mean, it's nice when you don't have to talk. You know, he
makes it pretty easy.
He makes this show
pretty
darn
seamless.
good. But yeah, he's very knowledgeable, and the guys he works with, you know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're second to none, and they do a great job. You can listen to them here on WLCN 96.3 FM. You know, we carry their podcast, and
this year, you know, though, Big Ten football, it's. I mean, the Illini, it's going to be tough, but it's going to be a spectacular year. I mean, we've got Ohio State, as good as it gets in America. You got Oregon, as good as it gets in America. Michigan's in the top 10. I mean, Penn State's in the top 10. We're going to have a really good year of football to watch. I mean, if you're a big Illini fan, it could be a little bit tough, but or Nebraska fan, but it's going to be fun to watch. And both of those teams even have some potential future, not only stars, but superstars coming.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting, both football and basketball, and like you said, the Big Ten's loaded. You know,
well, and, you know, I know you guys probably don't care a lot about Nebraska football, but we've got one of the best quarterback prospects in the last 10 years coming over. So, he was supposed to go to University of Georgia, and he jumped ship to go play where his uncle's coaching. So. Pretty big deal, and we'll see how it all plays out. Being a freshman, though.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for showing up, Joe, buddy.
He's not. Did he zoom in on Joe?
Joe?
Joe? No, Joe.
Good day, Joe. That's going to do it for us here on the Cheap Seats. We'll talk to you next week.
Good day.
The Cheap Seats live Saturday morning sports show on WLCN 96.3 and online at WLCNonline.com is brought to you by Jake's Furnishings. Make it your own. At Jake's, we strive to give you hometown personal service at very competitive prices. Located at 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Or shop online at jakesfurnishings.com. Furnish your home for less at Jake's. The Grimaldi Law Office, Logan County's only law firm dedicated exclusively to the practice of criminal law. Phone 217-651-8089. Eaton Corporation, America's choice for top quality, high-performance electrical equipment. To apply, go online to jobs.eaton.com. Chicago Street Rental and Repair at 1909 North Kickapoo Street in Lincoln, providing quality industrial equipment and rental services that local home and business owners rely on. Family owned and operated since 2000. Rental and Repair, LLC.com. Community Action Partnership of Central Illinois. We're here to help. Serving low income and seniors in 6 Central Illinois counties. In Lincoln, call 217-732-2159. Joe Ryan, Country Financial. For all your insurance and financial needs, see Joe Ryan at 509 Pulaski Street in downtown Lincoln or call 217-735-4385. Lincoln Printers in downtown Lincoln for all your printing needs, including vinyl graphics and banners. Phone 217-732-3121. Lincoln Printers since 1970. And by The Carpet House, family owned and operated since 1976. For all your flooring needs, stop by The Carpet House, 1320 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Shop online at thecarpethouselincolnil.com or phone 217-735-2531. The Carpet House, your personal guide to a beautiful home.
There's nothing like the view from the cheap